Here we go. This is it. This is the test to end all tests. Windows 3.00A, self-booting with MS-DOS 6.22 on one disk. Activate DOS mode. Whoa. So as you can see here, we're running a TeraDrive Model 2. Doesn't have any hard drives built in, just 2 floppy drives. So what I've gone ahead and done is create a floppy disk with Windows 3. RetroJunkie.net. Oh, there you go. So it's loading at the moment. What I've done is I've created a RAM disk. 1.7 megabytes in size. Now the maximum RAM that these machines can actually address is 2.5 megabytes. So it's leaving a little bit for Windows and a little bit to run a game or an app or something like that if you want to do that. To save on disk space, there's actually quite a bit of space left on the floppy disk. Because what I've done is I've gone and hacked apart some other Windows 3.1. It's the same concept, I've just stolen it from someone else. I'll credit them later. Mini Windows, that's what it's called. Mini Windows by Michael Shards. Or, no, his name isn't Shards, but it was called Shards and it was Michael. Look it up on Google, you'll find it. You're pretty internet savvy. You're on YouTube, you made it here, just go to Google. As you can see, at the moment it's currently extracting files. It takes a long time to do this, so I'm going to come back to it a bit later. No, you know what, we'll keep recording. It's cool. I can talk to you more about how exciting this is. So the TeraDrive being a 286 machine with some fancy looking case there, which you can't see, but you don't really need to. But I'm going to show you anyway. As you can see, it's quite a beautiful looking machine. Got the 2 floppy drives on the right hand side, Mega Drive cartridge slot on the left. On the top we've got an extension port, which would have ordinarily taken a Mega CD. Sadly, that wasn't to be. I got some PS2 ports, controller ports for the Mega Drive on the left. Excusez-moi. So all it will do is it'll just keep inflating, decompressing, whatever you want to call it, potato. But once it finishes, that's where the excitement begins. But it's not due to finish for a while. Now the goal of this, the whole reason I had to do this was because Windows 3.1 requires a bit too much RAM, 3 to 4 meg. This thing only has 2.5 max. Now I was going to try Windows 3.11, Windows for Workgroups, as some of you may know it, but guess what? Doesn't run on 286s. So I'm reduced to old Windows. Now I tried Windows 2.1 with a similar approach. I installed from one floppy disk to the other floppy disk, and that worked. It actually managed to fit with about 15 kilobytes of free space. Now Windows 2.1, for those of you who aren't familiar, you think Windows XP has a crayon looking scheme. No, you haven't used Windows 2.1. Terrible. So Windows 3 thankfully brings some of the features that you see in Windows 3.1 and 3.11. My next goal is to get Windows 3.11 running. To actually get access to these files, it's very difficult. I was trying to think of a way to manage to get the actual access to the Windows files. Like I was thinking I could use a virtual disk image for, say, Parallels or VMware. And then I thought, no, I can do a much more native approach. DOSBox, worked a treat. DOSBox is a great piece of software. I'll be honest, haven't used it much, or at all. No, I haven't really used it. But it's good. So I was able to install Windows through there and then just drag and drop the files out. And it was just a matter of getting it to boot properly. I went with MS-DOS 6.22, and I started messing around with the ways it compresses and decompresses, or rather just how it decompresses the files on the floppy to the RAM disk. Now RAM disks are pretty exciting in themselves. They're quite fast, a lot faster than a floppy. I compared loading Solitaire between the two. Solitaire runs so much faster on the TeraDrive off a RAM disk. It is just amazing. I have never seen, well, in this particular example it was robots on the backs of the cards. The way that they appeared, oh, it was like that, on fire. Ah, we're done. If there are no errors above, Windows has been extracted successfully. Type Win to begin. I like it. It's catchy. So by default it takes you to the C Windows folder /drive. Got about 75 kilobytes free. I've also stolen a Tetris game from one of the other distros. So I'm going to see if that works. It was a 3.1 distro, so it might not work. So, Program Manager, there we are. Now we don't have too much in here that I can play with. We've got File Manager. I thought that was pretty important, so you can see your files. It's good to see that the actual File Manager detects it as a RAM disk. It knows, which is very good. So we're after what am I after? Tetris game. Oh, well, I do want File Manager. Well, here's Solitaire. I'll just show you how quickly that loads. I didn't get robots this time, unfortunately. Too bad, really. But the game itself is it's pretty fast. 7 to an 8, 8 to a 9. What does it want me to do with that 2? I can't do anything. So what do we need? We need main, File Manager. I don't know. Where did I put it? Does anyone remember? What's it called? Tetris song. Win Tetris. There we go. Oh, this looks pretty good. Oh, how do you control it? Oh no, spacebar drops them. How do you turn them? There's no way to turn them. Oh god, there's no instructions. Oh, there we go. 5 button. Oh cool, you can control it with the numpad. How am I going to fix this one up? Oh, it drops too fast. I get just one line. Yeah, music. Oh, I missed that one. What happens when you lose? Oh, it into my name. retrojunkie.net. And there you go. That's an example of Windows 3.0. At the moment I've got about 370 kilobytes of free memory, which I believe is all conventional memory from the way I've got this set up, because I've got no extended the one that it is, I don't have any of it because it's the RAM disk. So yeah, that's fine with me though. Quite fast. You can't really save your changes. It doesn't save anything, unfortunately, because that's not the way it works. So you save your data on floppy disks and you're all good. Hope you enjoyed the video, and feel free to jump by my website, retrojunkie.net. We have some of the greatest retro gear over there. But note, everything's a work in progress because I don't have time to do any of this. I don't even have time to do this. I was meant to be at work today. Boss is going to be angry. Peace out.